What's up everybody, my name is Brandon Andre and I'm a fashion photographer in Los Angeles. If you don't already know who I am, I've been in almost every aspect of this industry. I've co-ran a brand and led a campaign where I casted models. I've scouted models and I've developed them and then placed them with agencies. I developed a lot of the big models that you guys might actually follow on Instagram right now. I'm in front of the camera and I'm behind the camera, and I've been on the social media train since the inception of it. So I pretty much know what I'm talking about when it comes to how to be a model. Today we're going to be talking about how to become a fashion model. 3 things you have to remember: height, face, and body, aka the genetic lottery. It's important to understand that the industry has changed a lot over the last couple of years. So what I'm going to be presenting right now are the traditional standards that you often see across the board in the industry. However, there are certain outliers and exceptions that I'll talk about later on in the video. For the most part, the fashion industry is held together by fashion designers. So the reason these things are considered the standard are mainly because designers would create a sample size that would fit perfectly on a certain body type. When you're tall and you're skinny, clothes just happen to look better on you. So if you're creating a product, you're going to want to drape it on something or on someone that makes it look the best. So that's kind of why you have a lot of models who are tall and skinny and they have a certain stature and they have a certain look. So this is why the height industry standard for girls is about 5'7" and for guys is about 6 feet tall, right? And why they want girls to be skinny and why they want guys to be lean. As far as face goes, there are 2 different types of looks in this industry: a commercial look and an editorial look. Commercial tends to be more lifestyle, more candid, more laughter, as though you're like capturing someone living life and just very relatable. Think of brands like Gap, Target, Brandy Melville, JCPenney. Models with commercial looks tend to be pretty attractive, you know, like you would look at them and you're like, wow, like they're genuinely attractive, like they're pretty people, they have nice smiles, they're just very appealing and they're great to look at. Think of Victoria's Secret models for an example. On the other hand, fashion tends to be a lot more ambiguous. Have you ever walked by an ad and looked at the model and were like, why are they a model? They look weird, they don't look like what a typical model looks like, right? I hear that all the time. Like, that's because your conception of modeling is commercial modeling. With editorial and high fashion modeling, it tends to be a lot more edgy and a lot more artistic and a lot more creative. Fashion models may not always be super attractive, but they possess like a look that makes them super interesting, or at least super photogenic when it comes to different fashion campaigns and stories. Now these are the kind of models you see with like gap tooth, or they have freckles all over the face, or they have alopecia, or they have albinism. They just have something about them that makes them unique, it makes them stand out, and that makes it intriguing for people to look at those photos. Basically, like the physical things that people would have made fun of you in high school for, the fashion industry finds super cool. You'll see this kind of model a lot in high fashion brands like Gucci, Balenciaga, Versace, Dolce & Gabbana, or even sometimes with commercial brands who want to have an edgier look like Diesel, Zara, H&M, Topman. And there are people that are both. There are people who have like a really crazy thing that makes them stand out, but they have an amazing smile and they photograph really photogenically, and so they're both, which is better because you make more money that way. Now, if you believe you have these fundamental requirements to being a model, then the next step is for you to actually start building a portfolio. At this point, this is the only time that you'll ever drop any money in modeling. If you're looking to build your portfolio, that means you have to hire a photographer or find a friend that can do it for free, but they might not know how to develop you in front of the camera and actually how to get really great and strong images for you. You're not supposed to be paying anybody else to make it as a model. I hope you understand that. Don't pay for modeling shows where they promise you that they'll introduce you to scouts and you might get represented. Honestly, those are scams. They're just wanting people to spend $2,000 for them to show up to this thing where most of them won't even get signed. So the rule of thumb is don't pay anyone unless it's a percentage of a job that they got you. And so just because you might have hit the genetic lottery, it doesn't necessarily mean that you can model or be a model. The only way that you can find out if you're a model is by getting in front of the camera and seeing if you can take good pictures. You want to make sure that the pictures you take look exactly like the pictures you see on every agency's website, which means very simple, very natural, very candid, showing you as a blank canvas and not cluttered with weird styling and a lot of hair and makeup, which a lot of people end up doing for whatever reason. I don't know, it doesn't end up looking good. So just keep it simple, keep it natural. Agencies just want to see how you photograph. They want to see different angles, different expressions, different profiles, and that's why I say it's better to hire a professional, because they know what agencies look for and they know how to develop you and give you those shots that you can take to different agencies and get signed. Once you have about 20 good strong images that show versatility of you, different angles, different expressions, different looks, you can submit yourself to modeling agencies online. Pretty much everybody has an online system where you can submit your images, or alternatively you can attend an open call, which is basically like an agency has Mondays from 3 to 4. We allow anybody to visit the agency, bring in their portfolio, and we'll meet with you, and if we want you, we'll will sign you. These agencies are always looking for the newest, latest thing because realistically, most models, especially females, have an expiration date of about 25 years old. Men tend to have a longer career because they just want older guys a lot of the times. Girls, they just want them to be younger or just have a fresh, younger look. And you can pretty much start modeling at any age, like from 13 up to 15, 16, 17. But really, like, your career starts taking off at about 18 years old because these agencies no longer have to worry about you being a minor and you can travel by yourself and attend these things by yourself without having to have a parent there. At this point, it's pretty black and white. They either want you or they don't. And I suggest making sure that you try multiple agencies because every agency looks for something different. Don't want to give up just after the first one and they say no. Try all the agencies that are in town and you might have a better chance with someone else. Also, it does help if you have a decent following because that's what a lot of people look for nowadays, is making sure that you're popping on Instagram because then they can make more money off of you. So now you get signed and it honestly sounds really amazing, but really, it's not. I'm gonna be honest, 80% of me thinks that modeling is about the worst thing that you could do, and I wouldn't wish it on my dearest friends. Expectation. Once I get signed, I'm gonna be traveling the world, be rich and famous. Oh, I can't wait for that life. Reality, you're in debt to the agency, you're living in a house with 5 other models, and you don't know when your next job is coming. The thing with modeling is that there are like different levels to modeling. I know it's confusing, but just because you're a signed model, it doesn't mean that you'll get a lot of work. And it doesn't mean that you'll be a top model with constant bookings and constant traveling around the world. Sometimes all you'll ever do is e-com jobs and local jobs, and that's as far as your modeling career will take you. Other times, if you have a great look, you'll blow up on Instagram and all of these different brands will want to hire you and fly you out all over the world. Sometimes you'll have moments where you're working a lot. Other times you'll be freaking out because you're like, why did I decide to do this? I have no idea how I'm going to pay my bills. It's just really unpredictable. That's why I tell my friends to make sure they have a plan for after modeling because this doesn't yield forever. It's not a forever job. It's not a forever career. If you have the opportunity to model, make sure you're smart. Make sure you're saving your money. You're planning for your future. Yes, enjoy the traveling. Enjoy the positive things that modeling brings, but remember that there's a time limit. If you're lucky, you'll get to travel the world, meet a lot of great people, and make good money. But in the beginning, you'll be known as a new face, which means that basically people can hire you for a lot less than a more experienced model. In the first couple of months of you being signed, you'll be in development mode where your agents will be sending you out to different photographers and having you do test shoots in order to build up your portfolio more with diverse images and just to get you more comfortable and confident in front of the camera. At this point, this is where you really want to learn how to exude that confidence. And you got to strip away from the world that you're used to where you care so much about what people think and just not care. I think that's the biggest issue that I see a lot of times when I photograph people. They care so much about what people think that they are like super like inhibited, like they're not free to try different things. I always tell people you gotta have like this swag, this confidence. You gotta like prop yourself up. You gotta be like, yo, what's up? What's good? Let's do this. So that's what I always try to build within people, that confidence, but that it comes from a sense of, yo, I don't care what you think. Like, I'm gonna do what I wanna do and I'm gonna try whatever it is I'm gonna try. Doing different poses, it just doesn't matter. That's the cool thing about modeling is that who cares? Just do whatever, and whatever ends up being the great shot or whatever ends up working out, that's what makes that image. Put yourself out of your comfort zone and allow yourself to gain that confidence, the ability to just not care, and then you'll see that in the way you photograph, you'll be totally different. And FYI, there's a difference between being confident and being cocky, so maintain that humility, please. And so after you have a pretty strong portfolio, your agents are going to be sending you out to different castings. And in this aspect of modeling, you really want to make sure you have a cool personality, and it goes back into that humility, it goes back into that confidence and that relatability, you know, because if I'm a casting director and I want to hire you and I'm going to be working with you for my brand or for my campaign or whatever my project is, I want to make sure that you're likable. So my tip is, be a likable person. You'd be surprised how many people get booked for jobs simply because they just love their personality. Don't be a person where people forget about who you are, because then you won't get jobs. Models make money by doing lookbooks, by doing ad campaigns, by doing music videos, by doing e-com, by doing print work, and sometimes even commercials. The workload can vary for different reasons. Some seasons there's more work available, other seasons there's just nothing going on. Also, the thing that kind of sucks with modeling is that agencies will take their precious time giving you your check. So you'll have a job one week, but you probably won't see that check until 3 months. Agencies generally take about 20% of each job that they get you. So going back to what I said earlier about the exceptions, there are talent agencies that represent models across the board. They'll be short, tall, fat, skinny, different ethnicities, pretty much anybody and everybody. And I've been pleasantly surprised to see a lot of my friends actually book a lot of jobs through being signed with these talent agencies. So I wouldn't count yourself out if you don't fit the genetic lottery of 3 for fashion. You can still model, but it would be more for a talent agency and more for for other jobs. So the second game changer today is social media. Social media has changed basically the way the fashion industry works. The reality is followers matter. Like, for instance, you could be the ugliest dude in the world with 20 million followers and Dolce & Gabbana will fly you out to walk for one of their shows. When you're popping on Instagram, height, face, all of that stuff, it doesn't really matter. Why? Because brands are more likely to want to hire an influencer, someone with a lot of followers, than a model who may have the height, the face, the body, but have no followers, right? If I'm going to put money in, I'm going to go where more people are going to see it, not where someone is just going to look good in it. You know what I mean? And because of that, agencies are more likely to want to sign you if you have a following, because they know that they're more likely to make more money off of you than they would someone who doesn't have as big of a following. The last thing I'm going to mention about the fashion industry is the dark side that comes with modeling. Throughout my years as a photographer, I've heard of countless sexual abuse stories between models and photographers or agents or casting director or whoever. Someone in the industry with power ends up sexually abusing a model. Usually the people that I've heard these stories from are male models. Sexual abuse is a real thing in this industry that a lot of people and a lot of models don't even talk about because they're afraid they're never going to work again. And that's why I'm talking about it, because I'm not a model and I don't care. Sadly, I cannot say with assurance that you can be a model in this industry and never have to experience a situation where you're confronted with someone trying to take advantage of you. However, I can say that you are capable of going about this industry in a way that if something like that does happen, then you know how to deal with it and walk away from it winning. And the way to do that is by walking away from these bad situations and not feeling like you're obligated to do whatever this top famous photographer. But I just want to make sure that you understand that it happens very often, unfortunately, that this industry has a lot of gross predators and they are literally only working in this industry because they want to take advantage of young guys and young girls, and it's sad. My advice is make sure you never allow anyone to touch you inappropriately, and don't be afraid to say no. Like, this career isn't worth losing yourself over. I mean, come on, this is modeling, the most superficial thing in the world, so why would you want to lose yourself for photos, you know? So the last thing I'm going to leave you with is that if you're going to be a model, think like a business person first. Make sure all of your decisions and all of the choices you make as a model yield business, because that's how you win at this game. You are your product, so you have to protect it. Be healthy and think healthy. This is the most vapid industry in the world, so don't take it too seriously if you get rejected. Like, it's just fashion. It's just, you know, superficial things. So yeah, you guys, that's my advice. I hope that you guys got some insightful information. Please like, comment, and share, and I will respond to your questions if you guys have any. Also, if you guys want to follow my work and everything that I do on Instagram, follow me at Brandon Andre. My link and stuff is going to be in the descriptions. And yeah, that's it, you guys. Thanks so much. Peace out. Love ya. Bye.